Anyway, so yeah, that's my thoughts on Rise of the Imperfects. I like it. I don't think it's a great game. I think it's probably not that great of a game, but I still enjoy it quite a bit. Thoughts on Infamous? I only really played it once at my cousin's place. I didn't get to play it that far. Well, I guess twice. I played it once when Walmart had those, test things where you could just play some demos. But I want to play more. I really am interested. It looks like really fun. I haven't been able to because I don't own a PlayStation. Although my roommate does. I should ask to see if he has it. Alright, Crazy Fun TV Movie Guy. What's up, man? He says, I'm probably the guiltiest for asking so many questions last time. LOL. Probably. You said we could go all out, so I took advantage of that. True. Fair point. That's why I limited it to 5 this time. Number 1, have you been up to date with Doctor Who? And if so, what do you think of Capaldi? Yeah, I have been up to date with Doctor Who. At least I'm pretty sure I am. I've seen the Husbands of River Song. I've seen all the, was it 9th season? And you know what I say? Like, Peter Capaldi's first season, not a fan at all. Really. Like, there's only a few episodes in this first season that I like. Mummy on the Orient Express, the bank job, or the time where they robbed that bank, and that's about it. I loved his second season. Like, not all of it. There's some that weird thing with the sand crust in the eyes being a villain. That was weird. But like he needed his own identity, and I really think he found it in this one. That scene, like when he comes out on a tank playing guitar, the sonic shades. Are you kidding me? That of course speaks to me. To the point where when he got his screwdriver back, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna miss the sonic shades. I like the sonic shades. Like him playing electric guitar. That's the type of Doctor. He's an electric guitar playing Scottish. Stick in the mud a little bit, and I like that about him. I still don't like. What's her name? His companion. I still don't really like Clara. I think she's a little bit too perfect, a little perfect too easily. She's probably my least favorite companion in a long time. Rory's the best. I like Martha probably second, then Rose. Not Rose, sorry, then Amy, then Rose. Donna's in there. So anyway, but either way, I really don't like Clara, so I'm finally glad that she's gone. We're going to get a new dynamic with the Doctor, Peter Capaldi's Doctor. I'm actually really excited to see where they go from here, because there were some really good episodes in this. The Flood one with the ghost, love that one. The Fisher Kings, oh man, that design was so cool. The episode where he's trapped in that castle, oh yeah, I love that one. That's like, I don't know if that would be top 10 or something, but that's like one of my new favorite episodes of Doctor Who. What else? There's just a lot of really good episodes in that season. The Daleks with the guy in the chair. Oh shoot, I know his name. It's Davros, sorry, it took me a sec, but I got it. With Davros, that was really good. You know what? I didn't really like Missy in her first appearance. The new Master. I didn't really like her in her first appearance. I loved her in this next one. The fact that her introduction of herself is, she takes say, hey, Missy, you're so fine, you blow my mind, hey, Missy. I mean, it's hilarious. And she was just so wondrously evil. It was contagious. I really liked her. I wasn't a big fan of her first appearance, but I really loved her in the second one. This is so great. That's the Master right there. At least what I see of the Master. I've only seen this one and the one who went against David Tennant. Anyway, yes. I like his second season. Not a big fan of his first season. I just think he was a little bit too much a stick in mud, and I hated his opening episode. The thing that was really the worst was they got Matt Smith to come back and... Oh, that was awful. He was, oh, tell me I didn't get old. Awful. It's like saying, hey guys, we know that you want to see the Doctor is sexy, and you're probably not going to see the Doctor sexy because it's Peter Capaldi and he's old. But see, here's Matt Smith telling you to like him. He's telling you to like him, and since you like Matt Smith, you'll like him too, right? It felt desperate. It felt awful. It was just the T-Rex in the Victorian age, and nobody seemed to blink at that. I didn't get it. I didn't like it. I hated his opening episode. But his second season, thumbs up. The only one I can say I didn't really like, as I said, is the one with the eye crust. And even then, that has some interesting camera angles and techniques. But that's about it. It was really weird for me. But the Husbands of River Song, that one was a really great Christmas special episode. Love that one. So touching and a great way to end off her character story. So, love that. Anyway. Number 2, can you do your best dance moves? See, I don't dance. I just do this thing where, like, I move my body and try to make it look like I know what I'm doing. You know, be like, I'm just, like, I'll just be, like on the dance floor, I'm just, like, moving and doing, like, it's, like, the silliest, stupidest thing, but it's all freestyle, you know? I'm like that kid in the Footloose episode in Avatar where he's just says, everybody freestyle, just going all over like that. Like, I don't dance, I just move weird. We all know how much you hate Batman and Robin, but it seems these days people have moved on from his badness to laugh it off. Do you think you have laughed it off now, or do you still have the eternal rage? Eternal rage, yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I think the worst thing about Batman and Robin for me is that the fact that I liked it as a kid. I liked it. And I hate that I liked it. You know, it's just like, I feel like ashamed for liking such a horrible, horrible thing. And then it's like when it clicked in my brain, I'm like, wow, this is really, really stupid. I don't think I can... I'm not at the point where I can watch it and just say, oh, look how stupid that is. I don't know if I'll ever be at that point, but I don't know. Whose run on Batman is your favorite? I wouldn't count Frank Miller because he didn't really have a proper run. That's true. A run on Batman. You know, the funny thing is, I'm still quite a new Batman fan. I probably Grant Morrison, because, you know, like, I was reading from the Black Glove all the way up to his version of Dick Grayson as Robin, and I all the way up to the first volume of Batman Incorporated. You know, I read all the way up to there, and for the most part, I enjoyed a lot of it. I like Batman R.I.P. a lot. I like his version of Dick Grayson and Damian as Batman and Robin. That's a lot of fun. Peter J. Tomasi, he has a really good run of Dick Grayson as Batman. Really like that. Paul Dini had a good Batman run. I like that. But I'd say my favorite probably would be Grant Morrison. And number 5, if you watched Game of Thrones, what do you think about it so far? Game of Thrones is a weird show for me, because I watch it, I buy the seasons, I have them, I've seen them, and I'm always a season behind because I don't actually watch the show on air because I don't have HBO or television in general. But, you know, when the seasons come out in DVD, I buy the seasons, then I watch the seasons. So I like the show, because I'm, 5 seasons in, I'm still watching them. And I pretty much binge through all of them when I get them. But I don't love the show, because I don't feel like I ever need to rewatch them, you know? Like, I've gone through Batman the Animated Series dozens of times. I don't ever feel like I'm going to say, you know what, I'm in a Game of Thrones mood. Let's start from the beginning of Game of Thrones and rewatch all that. Because the show moves so slowly. And it's kind of like when you know I have a feeling like when I know that certain characters aren't going to be doing anything, like it's going to be lead all to this point and then they're going to die, I feel like I'm going to be a little less invested, I'll feel like I won't be like, oh, I'm going to care what happens to them, because I'm like, well, I know they're going to die, so I don't even need to care anymore. I think that's kind of the payoff on this is I've read, I haven't read any of the books, obviously. I've seen the show, but I think once I've seen it all, I'm probably just going to sell all my DVD copies of it and be done with it. I don't feel a need to rewatch any of it. It's a story that I'm interested in enough to see to its end, but it's not a story that it's not a world that I want to live in over and over again like something else. If that makes any sense. Alright, moving on, we got the Stitch Underground Brony Clinic. Okay. Number 1, what do you think of Brony fans of My Little Pony? I don't judge. I mean, if you were a fan of that thing, and a lot of people are, so it seems to be well written. It's not something that I'm really interested in, but I don't judge other people for liking something, because if the show's well written, it really doesn't matter if it was intended for girls in the first place, because if a girl can like a show that was intended for boys, there shouldn't really be any negative annotation for a boy liking a well-written show that was intended for girls. For me, I'm not a brony, I don't plan to be one, but I don't judge other people for liking that stuff. Do you play Sonic the Hedgehog? I played like the old one, but I was more of a Nintendo kid. I've been a Mario fan more than a Sonic fan, so I think that I would leave my games paused a lot, and the fact that, you know, Sonic would just leave the screen and you die really pissed me off. Number 3, can you review Lilo and Stitch? It's probably going to be on the animated look back sometime. I'm not going to say a date or anything, but I bought the DVD of Lilo and Stitch so I could review it sometime, so that's one thing. Thank you, Laser Dude. You are so awesome. Why, thank you. Thank you very much. Alright, Bryce Jacobson. How's it going, Bryce? Right, he says, has your top 10 favorite superhero cartoons and superhero movies list updated? You know, I did once. I did one time. I did my top 10 favorite superheroes movies, and it was a horrible video, because it was when I was going to Bible college, and I was just bored, and I had my camera with me, so I just walked around, recorded myself just walking around and saying my top 10 favorite. And it was such an awful video. I keep on planning on updating it, but the problem is we keep on getting so many more. So it's just like, I feel like whenever we get, like we have a year's, we've had like what, 2 superhero, X-Men Apocalypse is going to be coming out pretty soon, so almost 3 superhero movies coming out already, and yet we're about halfway through the amount of superhero stuff coming out this year. So I always want to, but I've never gotten around to it because there's always more stuff going on. As for cartoons, I wanted to do a top 10 cartoons list because that one is less changing, and the more shows we get are just more crap. So that one I might do one of these days, but I have a feeling I wanted to do my top 100 list before I did that, but I don't know. It depends. It depends. So I wouldn't be able to say it right now, all of them, because just like that would take time to actually think it through. Do you watch Avengers: Earth for Mightiest Heroes, Young Justice, Teen Titans? Yes, all 3 of those. Not Teen Titans Go, but I love all 3 of those. Those are the great shows. Avengers Assemble sucks. The show that replaced Young Justice and Teen Titans Go sucks. Hulk Agents of Smash sucks. That's neither here nor there. I just thought I'd bring that up. Yeah. So that was his 2 questions. Thank you, Bryce. Superhero Fan 100 says, are you on Team Captain America, Team Iron Man for the Civil War movie? This was 2 weeks ago when this question was asked, so I've already seen the movie. But I'd say Team Captain America. I think Tony's a little bit more coming from an emotional place and not a place of thinking things through more carefully where Cap is. And I think that's kind of his problem with not being a soldier, where Cap has been able to distance himself because he's seen friends die in combat, so he's been able to distance the emotional reasons out where I don't think Tony's at that point yet, because he was never a soldier. He was always a billionaire playboy philanthropist that just happened to make a suit of war, sort of thing. Anyway, so Captain America, I would say. Who's your favorite Avengers in both movies and the comic book? I guess I relate to Captain America more in the movies. I think that might have to do with Winter Soldiers being so good. But in the comic books, my favorite Marvel characters are Spider-Man and Cyclops. Cyclops used to be like way down the list, but I really, once I've gotten into the mind, like, I love a strategist. And when we got into this mindset where Cyclops is a much more smarter character and a strategist, when you get into that mindset, that is really that's the type of character that I can really sink my teeth into. And Spider-Man and Cyclops. How would you feel if DC made a live-action Wonder Woman movie? Well, I'd feel good because they are doing that. There's a sneak preview at it and everything. That's a go, and I would love to see I'm really interested to see what Gal Gadot can do with this character, on her being the central focus of the film, and the fact that it's a period piece makes it all the more interesting. Do you think the Justice League movie is going to be good? The thing that gives me hope for the DC movie universe now is the fact that they said Jeff Johns is going to be like the creative consultant on all of the movies. He's basically going to have a say in how everything turns out. And Jeff Johns being one of my favorite comic book writers, I think he will be able to have a good eye on how to structure these movies and how to make them applicable for the fans and the mainstream audiences. I think he has the finger on the pulse of what comic book fans really like about these characters, and that really excites me that Jeff Johns is given this power. Not that I'd say everything Jeff Johns has written is amazing, but for the majority, Sinestro Corps War, his entire Green Lantern run, his entire Aquaman run, his Batman Earth 2, I love them all, and so I really think that his Shazam run, I really think that it's really good, and I'm really looking forward to what he's going to do with it. So yes, I think it could be good. I think it could be bad. It all really just depends. Number 5. Have you seen Arrow, The Flash, or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I've kind of dropped Arrow. I've fallen behind on Flash, but I want to catch up. I haven't seen much of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. since it's like the 4th episode. I actually seen a couple here and there, mostly because I had to because of work. Because I work at a television station, I have to edit commercials and whatnot. And one of the things it requires, like, we're watching the TV shows to make sure it goes on all the time. So I've actually had to sit down and watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But it's more of a I've had to, not because I've wanted to. I know, I'm complaining. Oh, I have to sit and watch TV for work. But anyway, I don't really like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I still would prefer Agent Carter over Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. any day of the week. But I really like The Flash. Arrow's kind of lost me. I don't really see. But Legends of Tomorrow is fantastic. Anyway, moving on to Awesomeness Adventure Guy. What is your favorite Skillet song or album? Plus, what's your opinion on the band's style and how much it gives God praise? Plus, again, do you like the song Jesus Freak by DC Talk? Yes, Jesus Freak is one of my favorite songs. I don't think you can really be a Christian and like Christian music and not, or Christian rock music at least, and not know Jesus Freak and have it on your iPod. Jesus Freak is probably just one of the best Christian songs written, and it's like it takes an insult and makes it a badge of honor, and it's it's a song that you want to headbang to, I guess. But for Skillet, I'm not much of a Skillet fan. My main Christian music people that I listen to is Toby Mac, Newsboys, Reliant K. But I remember Comatose. You might remember that's the one that I used to do at the beginning of some videos. I just said dun 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 dun. Like that was the Skillet song that I like. That was their song that I think would be my favorite. Christian Knight. Some of these are pretty personal, so if you don't want to answer these in public, I understand. Just things I like to know. Well, we'll see what we can do. Number one, what really got you into wanting to make YouTube videos? I kind of already answered that before, so I'll move on to the next one. What is your main characteristic you value in a relationship? I would say, I guess, I haven't actually been on that many dates. I actually just went off of one recently. I won't go into detail, but basically, it was a day where after the end of it, we kind of both realized, like, yeah, we probably would be good friends if we didn't live so far apart from each other, but we didn't really have chemistry. I think chemistry is really what you need, and that can mean a lot of things. I think it can mean the enjoyment of one another's company, not just, hey, we had a good time. It's just, I really want to spend more time with that person. And the being attracted to someone is very important as a starting point. It's not the end all be all, but I think that's something that is very important to have. Yeah, so that would be me. To be in a good relationship, you got to make sure you have chemistry, that you can work with somebody. I almost say it's better to be friends first and then move on from there if you can. Because if you try to just jump from not total strangers to dating, that's a bigger step from total strangers to friends to dating. That's, at least you have one more step there. Anyway, if you could go back to any point in your life, mistake or whatever, and could change what you did, would you change it, or do you think every mistake or action makes the person you are today, no matter how small? That's the thing. If you went back in time and you were able to stop yourself from making a mistake, you'd probably just make the mistake anyway, just at a different time and in a different way. I've had mistakes that I've made in my past that I really regret. But if I didn't make them and I didn't regret them, then it's possible that I would still do them in a different way in the first place. Like,